Hi everybody, Marissa here with Adobe Photoshop for beginners. Welcome back. This is our fifth lesson, and before we get started I'd just like to show you some changes that I've made to make things easier for you. So those who want to use my files, my work files, so you can follow along, all you need to do, and this you have to do only once, and then you'll be able to follow in every single video that I make. So all you need to do is go down, and it doesn't matter which lesson you're on, you can be on any lesson. Just go down below and go to download work files, and this will take you to my drive. You will have to ask for access once, and I'll send it back to you. It might not be on the exact time that you're doing it. Hopefully I'll be able to get back as quickly as possible, but that will actually give you access to all my files for the future. The second thing is I am keeping a website with all the lessons on, so you'll have easy access to go and play a tutorial that you want. And the reason I'm doing this is to help you stay from lesson number 1, lesson number 2, and etc. and make decisions where you'd like to go, if you'd like to be in the sequence or not. Now here too there are work files, but they're small in size. So if you do want the work files, all you need to do is click on one of these pictures. It doesn't matter which one, that all will take you to that same drive. Okay, so I hope that will help, and let's just get started. Let's open up Photoshop. Okay, great. Now we're in Photoshop. So the first thing we do is put ourselves on the same interface. Go to Window, Workspace, Lesson, and if you've got that selected, just go down to Reset Lesson. If not, do it twice. Today we're going to do mask. We're going to start off with mask. It's a great subject, and it helps so much with doing practically anything we want to do in Photoshop. The first thing I'd like to do is open up a new document. So let's just go to File, New, or Control N or Command N on the Mac. And I'm just going to open up a random one. It's A4 size, and it's also for printing. But you can choose any one you want. It's just to show you what it does. The first tool that we're going to use today, it's a new tool. It's called the Paint Bucket tool. So what it does is it just fills in an area, a whole area that is selected or not selected, and I'll show you. So let's first of all go down to the bottom here and choose a foreground, a different color. So I'm just clicking on that, and I'm going to choose a random blue. So we've got the blue one here, and we got the bucket selected. Let's just click on the mouse, and it fills up the whole layer because nothing was selected. I'm going to go and open up a second layer, and I'm going to choose another color. So let's just go down to a greenish yellow, which is fine, and just click on that. So notice that we've got two colors. I'm going to call this one blue, and we can't see that at the moment because it's underneath the green layer. Well, it's kind of green. But I'd like to see part of the blue. What I can do is use a mask. Now, in order for me to use a mask, I need to do a few things. The first is select the actual layer that I'd like to put that mask on. So for me, it's the top layer. Then go down to the area where I have my foreground and background, and make sure it's black and white. The black in the front and the white in the top and the bottom. And if you do not have that, you can change it either by clicking over here, or maybe something happened and you need to actually set it. So just click on that, make sure it's black, and do OK. Click on the back one, make sure it's white, and do OK, and you'll be fine. So I'm just going to go and click on the layer, click on the layer green, and go and click on mask, and make sure that my mask is next to my green color. Now notice that it's white, so anything that I'm going to paint in black will actually show me part of this blue background. So I'm going to take a paintbrush, And let's just enlarge this a little bit. So I can go to my brackets next to my P and just enlarge. Right. And let's just click. So once I've clicked that, I've noticed that just by clicking that, I've got it actually, I can actually see underneath. Now I'm going to make it a bit bigger, so you can actually see it here on the mask. It's black. And if I color the whole thing in, I'm using my mouse and I'm terrible at it. You'll see that I've got a black blotch here. Now if I wanted to take away part of that, just say, what I need to do is go to my background and foreground and switch between them. So the white will be on the top and the black will be on the bottom. And now I can just show you that I'm actually drawing back my green. So please practice with that, and now you can also do shapes and things, whatever you want, but practice and try and figure out how it works. But we're going to carry on with the lesson so you'll understand it in more depth. I'm just going to close off this layer. I'm not going to save it. Okay, so let's open up a photo. So File, Open, or Control O or Command O on the Mac, and let's open up Mask. Now I'm going to show you a few things. The first thing I want to do is change the color of the mask and leave the rest as it is. In order to do that, I have to first unlock the background, duplicate the layer, and let's just call the first layer, the bottom layer, let's just call Main, so we'll know the difference between them. And the top one, let's just call Color. Once we've got that, on the color one, I'd like to actually put a mask. But before I put a mask, let's make a selection of the area that I would like to change. I'm going to go to a quick selection. I think that's the best way to do it at the moment. And obviously I have to click on my layer for me to get something. And I'm just going to go around and select the mask. I know I'm doing a terrible job, but that's quite alright because I'm going to show you how to fix it. Now the eye part, I'm going to click on Alt and deselect that area. And that area I need to select. And then I need to deselect. And I'm just going around and deselecting parts that I didn't do too well and selecting parts that I need. So this eye also I need to deselect. So I'm just deselecting it. Didn't do a very good job. And I'll do that. Okay, as you can see, that is a terrible selection job. I've got gadgets all over, but that's good because I want to show you how we can fix this. The first thing I'm going to do is actually put a mask on the color layer. So click on Mask. And now I'd like to change this whole picture. In order for me to do that, I just click on it. Now there are other ways to do things. I'm not going to show them at the moment. I'm showing you this way. In later videos you're going to learn more and more and more of how to do things. There are plenty of ways of how to change this color. Let's go into, so once I've selected this area, I have to make sure that I've got the white around it to make sure that it's selected, because if this is selected I'm not going to get the result that I need. So make sure it's the photo that is selected. And then go into Image, Adjustment, and let's just go to Hue and Saturation. I could have also gone to Control U. I'm just going to go to the hue area and change it, and notice how it's changing. So when I'm on 0, that will be what it was, and I'm changing it to just say this, which is fine. And I'm going to do OK. Now if I look closely at this area, I can see that I've actually changed not just the mask, not just the part where the mask is, but the whole photo, and that's the idea. That's why we have the mask. Now, I know this has been done terribly, so let me show you how to fix it. So go back to the area of the mask and click on the black part. Let me just go closer so you can see what I'm doing. Click on a paintbrush, sorry, and change this to be black in the top. So you are, and I can make my brush smaller by clicking on those brackets that are near the keyboard letter P. And then I can just start painting and go slowly around. And if I want to change this color, all I need to do is click on that and I can change. And go around and do whatever I need to do and make it as beautiful as I can. Now if I need to make the brush smaller, I can go in and make the brush smaller and go in here. So play around with that and have as much fun as you can. And if you've got one of your photos, I'm sure it will be much more exciting. So you can see that actually I've fixed up this area. Now obviously, let me just show you a little bit about, okay, let's go to the nose. This area is like terrible. So let's do that. So that's much better. And then you just go around and carry on doing it. And you know what? I find that relaxing. I find it so much fun. Obviously, I'd like to get some work done and maybe do it quicker, so I will show you a quicker way to do it. Now, just to, before I'm closing up here, I would like to just show you what actual color we actually got here on this layer. So I'm going to delete the layer, and now you can see the colors that we got compared to what they were originally. So that's actually the actual mask gave me the opportunity to change everything but only show a portion of it. Okay, let's go and do another example of masking. So I'm going to close this off, obviously not save it. Let's do another example. I'm going to open up File Open, which is Control O or Command O on the Mac, and I'm just going to get the magic wand. It says magic wand. It's from lesson number 4, and just open it up. Now I'm going to use the magic wand, so I'll find it on the 4th one at the bottom. You can just click on W and you'll get to that area. And just to show you what it does, I'm going to put on tolerance 10 and let's just click. Now it hasn't actually selected a whole lot. It's selected quite a lot, but not enough. I can put the tolerance onto 20 and probably get a better selection, and it is better. Now all I'm going to do is, because I'm selecting the background and not the bird itself, I need to make sure that the whole background is actually selected. So I'm going to go to Shift, and as you can notice on the cursor where the magic wand is, I have a plus sign, and now I can click, and that actually clicks the whole rest of the background. Now I do see a few faults that I have in my selection, because if I go around here I can see that it's selected too much, and I'm not going to use the wand tool for that. I'm going to go to the quick selection tool, and I'm going to actually deselect, which means I want a minus. At the moment on the quick selection tool I have a plus, which means I want to add on, but I want to I want to subtract from the selection on this bird itself, because remember, we are only selecting the background. So I'm going to do Alt, and notice that I get a minus number, a minus, and I'm just going to go around and deselect what it had selected more of. And if it's done too much, I can always go over it. That's okay. And I can also fix it later on. So let's just see what other defaults I have. Maybe there's one right over here a little bit. So I'll go to my quick selection tool. I'll do minus. Remember, I need to do minus. And I'll just go over this a little bit. Now I can go and reduce the size of my brush to be more accurate. And maybe that's a good idea. minus, and just, oops. Oh, well, sorry about that. Just, okay. And so on and so on. So once I've done all that, I'm going to go and release myself from the background. I'll click on the lock and I want to, okay, so I've clicked on the lock, I've got a layer, let's just call that bird. And I want to reverse the actual selection. In other words, I want the selection to be of the bird and not of the background. In order to do that, I go to select and inverse, or I go to Shift Control I. I can choose. And now I only have the bird selected. I'm just going to go and add on a mask and see how that looks. Now it's hard for me to actually see what's going on here when I don't have some kind of background. And if I go into the mask properties, I can choose between different ones. I can go to the black one, I can go to the onion one, I can go to all different kinds of selections, and I can see where I've done better and where I haven't. But sometimes what I like to do the most is just make myself my own color layer. So let's just do that. I'm just going to open up a new layer and put it down to the bottom part. So it's going to be underneath the bird. And notice that when I get the blue lines, I know that I'm there. I'm going to change my color. It can be any color. I'm just going to give a red color because it's obviously you can actually see what's going on. And I'm going to fill it. So let's go back to our fill, our bucket, our paint bucket, and just fill that area. And now notice, if you look closely, I've still got selections here that are very, very disturbing. And I need to get rid of them. And that's very easy to do. All I need to do is go onto that bird and go to the paintbrush and just make sure that I'm getting rid of everything over here. Now, that's one way of obviously of doing it. And for this area, it's probably the best way to do it as well, because this is a big mess. So I can just do that and make sure that I'm okay everywhere else. But there's another thing I want to show you. And notice besides those lines there, I have a line that goes all along around here. Now I want to get rid of that. That doesn't look too good. And here I'm also, it's very ragged. It doesn't look good. So, and here as well. So how can I fix that? First of all, I'm going to double click on bird. I'm going to go to smart and click on smart radius. I'll upload that a little bit, maybe 2 pixels, maybe 1 pixel. I'll see how it looks. Oops, sorry. Made a mess. Control Z. Control Z, by the way, takes away the last thing that you've done. I just wanted to see closer what's going on. And I can go to Shift, Edges, and just go back a little bit, and we'll take it back. Notice that's back a lot, and that's back just a little bit, and that makes that go away. I do still have some of these things around here, and I will take care of those. Now, sometimes there are times where I like to just smooth it out a bit, and maybe sometimes even put on a little bit of a feather. It all depends on what background or what photo I want to attach it to, and how good or how bad that actual photo looks. So now I think it's pretty good. It looks pretty nice, and I'm just going to delete this layer because it was only for my indication, was only for me looking and seeing what I need. And I'm going to go and get another photo. So let's just do File, Open, and get Landscape from the same lesson, lesson number 4. Let's go to the Move tool and drag this down, and then drag it into that layer. And I know that I'm dragging it in because I've got that plus sign with the arrow. I'm just going to close this off and downsize here, and I'm going to put this layer 1 that I actually brought in underneath the bird so I can see the bird itself. And now what's good about it is that I can carry on working on the bird to make sure that it fits in with my background. So if that's the bird and I want to add on, just say a little piece over here, let me just do that piece over here, I can do that. And I can go around and see where I have faults and where I don't have faults and where it looks bad and where it looks good. So here, let's just add on a little bit. And you know, if you always go, for instance, if I go overboard, I can always go back and just take that off. Let's just get a bigger brush and I can take that off. So I can just play around with it. And that's how, it's another way of masking and joining things together. And that's how it looks. So that's all for today. I want to thank you for joining me, and please give me a thumbs up and comment down below and subscribe to my channel. There are going to be many, many more lessons, and I hope you enjoyed this one, and have a great day and hope to see you soon. So bye for now.